Hey y'all, and welcome to Simply Made Homestead. Well, now today, if you have happened upon my channel and you want to learn how to raise quail, well, you have come to the right place, because today is lesson 1 in the series on how to start raising quail, and I'm going to take you through right to hatch. Now, if you already have quail, you order them or you purchase them live quail, but now you want to hatch your own eggs, this lesson will absolutely apply to you as well. If you don't have quail at all and you want to know how to get started and how to hatch your eggs and how to raise them from there on out, you have come to the right place as well. We are going to cover both. If you're going to order your eggs, when you get them in, make sure you let them just take them out of the box, and they can sit right there in their little, like my share farm, it's a styrofoam thing, and each little egg has its own little hole. You can take it out and you can just let them sit there. And just let them sit there for 24 hours before you put them in the incubator. And the reason you do that is because in shipping, they've been jostled and jolted and wiggled and woggled all around, and you just want to let them kind of rest and settle back into place before we start them on their journey of incubation. So now, if you are gathering your own eggs from your quail, once you get started, this will help you there. Like, this is what I have done. So every day I would go out and I would gather my eggs. And now quail eggs are remarkably clean. Chickens, there's always one little rogue chicken that wants to poop in the nesting box, and then all the other girls climb in there and lay their eggs, and then there's poop on the eggs. So make sure you keep a check on your nesting box and keep them clean, and that will help that. But anyway, with these, because I have sand pails in my quail cages, because I just really enjoy giving them that little extra something to get in there, and it's good for them to cover their skin with sand and help keep the bugs away, and they really have a blast with it. But these eggs will have, like, you know, a little sand on them, so I just take a paper towel and just brush them. I never ever wash my eggs. It has a bloom on it, which is a protective coating on your egg, and we want to keep that on there. So don't dunk them in anything, don't wash them. I just take a paper towel, a clean rag, and just lightly dust them off. Now, every now and then they will have a little poop on them, because sometimes they do their business in the little sandbox, and so it's not very often, but I did have one in here that had that. Here it is right here. But anyway, just kind of rub it off as best you can. It's not that big a deal. So we do want our incubator to make sure it's nice and clean before we add our eggs to the incubator. While I was collecting my eggs, I didn't leave this out in the shop where our quail are. It's very warm. There's no climate control. It's the middle of summer, so I don't want these to be hot and warm and start, growing and doing their thing, which they're kind of doing that a little bit on their own. But I brought them in the house where it's a constant climate or a constant temperature, and to keep them a little cooler and preserve them a little bit better. Now, when you are collecting your eggs, you'll hear you can collect up to 7 to 10 days. I never collect over 7 days, and the reason being is because the fertility rate falls rapidly, very quickly. So like now, I think this is like 3 or 4 days worth. I have 25 females. I want to say it's 3, but I'm not. Honestly, I lost count. I don't know. It may be 4 days. Now, the reason that you see mine, I was kind of excited about not having a full tray. These rails right here hold 120 eggs. But I was kind of excited to do this, kind of a little test while I'm hatching new eggs, is just to put them right down the middle here. You can see there, I've got them where they're just kind of right down the middle there. And the reason I'm doing that is because the outer edges of your incubator will be cooler than it is in the middle, because it's towards the outside. And back here by the heater, it's always much warmer. So, and I do feel like, I know it does, it affects your hatch rate. So I wanted to run them right down the middle and see what kind of hatch rate we get. Now, I'm probably going to have to test this a second time after we hatch these, because some of my quail I just moved together like boys and girls, and because they were separated and all like that, and they've only been together about a week. You want your quail to be together at least 2 weeks before you try to hatch their eggs. You don't have to wait that long, that's why I'm going for it at a week, but at 2 weeks you increase your chances of having fertilized eggs a lot by waiting that extra week. But that's what you need to do, okay? If you put your girls and your boys together, wait at least 2 weeks. I'm telling you how to do it, just because I do it different, we're a bit of a rebel here. We're kind of going with it. Wait 2 weeks, and because if you're trying to hatch to get you some new babies, wait 2 weeks and gather them no more than 7 days, and then put them in the incubator. And I just start adding them to my incubator, and I keep it all in the house where it's nice and cool, and just add to it, and then I know when I'm ready to roll. For incubators, what I have here is I've had this for a couple years. It has worked beautifully. I've never had any trouble out of it at all. I'm sure there are some of the bigger cabinet incubators that would be a much better incubator, and it may do marvelous, wonderful things. This one I've been very pleased with it. I've hatched lots of babies with it, and so anyway, it is the Farm Innovators model 4250. I got it from Tractor Supply. It was about $130. So you can see it is the lower end of incubators, but I wanted something on the lower end. I was just getting started, and I needed something, and this was had really good reviews and was highly recommended at the time. So I will leave you a link to it as well below in the description box. Now on here, when you get your incubator, it will come with these rails, and these are for chicken eggs. Now, I ordered quail egg rails so that the eggs would fit in there perfectly. And see here, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 across the top of the chicken eggs. And with the quail eggs, you get 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. 20 eggs on one rail. So that's why I did that, because I wanted to be able to get, a lot of eggs on that rail. Now, if you don't have a lot of quail eggs, or you just don't want to buy your quail eggs, you can take your little quail eggs and wrap some paper towel around them, just so they'll fit in here, because you don't want them jostling all around. You want them to be nice and firm. So you can wrap them with some tissue and or a paper towel and sit them in your egg rails if that's just something that you need to do. Now, as far as changing these things out, it was a pain until I knew how. I thought I was going to break it, and I thought, oh Lord, I can't buy another one of these things. I can't break this. I've got to figure it out. So anyway, I finally figured it out, and I do have a video, and you can find it here. I've linked it here for you on how to change these egg rails. So check that out if yours is giving you a problem and you need a little help. So hopefully that'll help you out. 1 week from now, I will have lesson 2 will come up, and it's going to be on how to candle your eggs. If you want a good light. Now, I believe when I ordered my incubator, it came with a little light, and it works okay. If you're trying to look through a quail egg or a dark chicken egg, you could forget about it. It just was not going to work. It wasn't bright enough. I tried different things, LED, really bright flashlights and things that did help, but nothing. This is awesome. I'm so thankful. This is not expensive. I don't remember exactly how much it was. It was not an expensive light. Much more expensive lights out there. It's Incubate, and I'll leave a link to that as well in the description box below. But it is a wonderful thing to have if you plan on continuing to hatch eggs, or you want to be able to see what's going on in your quail egg. This is what you need, because those little quail egg shells are thick. And so anyway, so check that out. If you have an incubator that does not have an automatic egg turner, you will need to turn your eggs a minimum of 3 times a day. And to do that, you'll need to put just like a little X on one side so that you know, okay, have you turned it when, so you'll know you've turned it. Blank on one side up, okay, I need to turn it the next time the other way. So to be able to help you and help you keep up with which way you've turned and how many times you've turned it. Get your little pencil and paper out, or you can rewind this video. But when you set your eggs in the incubator, your humidity will need to be between 40 and 50%. Now, here in Florida where I live, it's very humid, plus I'm in the summertime, so it's really humid, and so I'm going to do what is called a dry hatch. Now, a dry hatch means that you don't add water to the incubator. So my incubator is going to stay indoors because I want to be able to really monitor it, and because the humidity is 100% outside. I don't want to put it in my little shop out there where I raise babies and things like that, because I want to really kind of control the humidity because it's very important. So it takes 17 days to hatch a quail. Isn't that exciting? You don't have to wait for 21 like you do chicken. It's 17 days to hatch a quail. To get started, what you will do, you need to plug in your incubator a full day before you load your eggs, okay? Now, if your humidity in your house is between 40 to 50%, you don't need to add any water to your incubator. You will set your temperature to 99.5 degrees, and your temperature on your incubator will fluctuate a little bit. A 0.5 up or a 0.5 down is fine. If it drops any lower or higher than that, you do need to see what's going on and to make sure you can stay within that range. An external thermometer is highly recommended that you can put in there so you can really monitor to make sure the controls on your incubator is reading correctly. Now, when you hatch your eggs, make sure you place them in an area where they're not going to get a draft. Like even in the house, the air conditioning vent, where is it blowing? Be very conscious of that. There's no fan blowing on it. Make sure because all of that, those will change the temperature. It will make the incubator have to work harder, and it can make the temperature drop on your incubator. And we want it to keep a nice constant temp and humidity. If you need to add water to your incubator, that's another big reason why we want to do it 24 hours before, because you need to add some water and then see how it does. Or you're going to have to tweak it, okay? Keep an eye on it. You want it between 40 and 50%. All right, now 7 days later, we're going to come in and we're going to candle our eggs, and we're going to see which ones are fertile and which ones are not. Now at 7 days, I like to remove the infertile eggs. There's no reason to have them in there. They aren't growing. Why? After 7 days, and that's what we're going to do next week, and I'm going to show you how. On day 15, we are going to go into lockdown. Next week, we will talk more about that. And don't forget, guys, down below in the description box, there are links to the incubator, the flashlight for candling your eggs, and to My Shower Farm where you can order eggs. Now, if you have any questions or comments, please do not hesitate to leave them in the comment section below. I would love to hear from you, and I will help you in every way I can. So if you enjoyed this video, please give us a big old thumbs up. It really does help us. It tells YouTube that someone enjoyed that video, and it helps kind of push us out there. We're a new channel, and we're working really hard to grow and to be able to continue to bring all of you this free content. Now, if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, be sure to hit that subscribe button below. We would love to have you on our journey as building a homestead and raising all of our animals in our garden and the yummy made-from-scratch recipes in the kitchen. And until next time, take care and God bless.